Okay, this is Seow chapter 20 vocabulary starting on page 233. All right, our nouns. Behema, behema, wild animal, beast, or cattle. The best way to remember this is in Job 40, it mentions the behemoth that God created. So God's talking about that to Job. The behemoth, that's the same word there, behema. Hamor, hamor, he-ass or donkey. Migrash, pasture land. Katse, extremity or end. So this can be kind of a physical thing, like to the extremity or to the ends of the earth kind of idea. Like in the flood story in Genesis, it talks about the waters receding mikse, from the ends of the earth. So actually you find katse with min attached to the front. So you'll find the form mikse several times in the Bible. And that's from the ends and probably from the ends of. But it can also be used to mean all or like every single one. Katse can be used that way. So in Genesis 19:4, when all the men of Sodom surround Lot's house, it says, Kol ha'am mikatse, which would mean all, so if we're Kol ha'am, all the people, mikatse, from the ends or from the extremity. So what it's saying there is every single one. They were all surrounding Lot's house, kind of making an emphasis on that point. So katse, end, extremity. Se, you don't need to know, but it means lamb. So for our quiz, you don't need to know that. Sack means sack. Finally, a cognate. So it's the same in Hebrew and English. Sack is sack. You might see this as in sackcloth and ashes, repenting in sackcloth and ashes. Shemen is oil or fat. You could think of this as the Mashiach, the Messiah, is the anointed one, and you'd be anointed with oil. So maybe the Mashiach is anointed with shemen. Kind of sounds the same. Our verbs, baka, to split. You do not need to know that for your quiz. Zana, to act like a prostitute. So a zona is one who prostitutes, and so that's, you've got the noun is, looks like the feminine participle, right? So this is Gomer in Hosea. It's called a zona. Hazah, to see a vision, and hazon is vision, the noun form. So you hazah a hazon, you see a vision. Hasak, you do not need to know this for your quiz, but it means to restrain or withhold. Ma'as, to reject. Naga, to touch, or it can be to strike, so to touch in a bad way. I always remember this because this is the word used in Genesis 3:3. So, there's a big, people sometimes make a lot of the fact that Eve, when the serpent says, did God really say you can't eat it? And she says, we can't eat it and we can't touch it. So people sometimes make a big deal of her adding in that extra, and we can't touch it. And this is the word she uses. She says, he also told us we can't naga it. We can't naga the fruit of that tree. Tsum, to fast. You do not need to know that word for your quiz. Now prepositions, I want you to know ba'avur, ba'avur. This doesn't appear quite 70 times, but it's important to recognize because avar, as a verb meaning to pass over, and so this might confuse you. You don't want to be confused by this when you see it. So ba'avur is for the sake of or on account of. So also in Genesis 3, Adam and Eve after the sin, God says that the land will be cursed ba'avor, their sin. So because of Adam's sin, on account of ba'avor, the land will be cursed. The ground will be cursed. The second one you don't need to know for your quiz, likrot. Likrot means toward or against. But you do need to know ma'al. Ma'al, above. And I kind of remember that by, the all part is on or over. So it has similar connotation there. So all is on or over, and ma'al is above. So the words here that you won't need to know for your quiz are se, baka, hasak, tsum, and likrat.